Hey, Jenny here, and I'm pleased to be visiting today with Dr. Alexandra Belayew. So what are your thoughts on the results of the Losmapimod trial?
So I have to be very precise in what I'm going to say. So my background is not medicine. I'm a chemist, and I turned more and more towards biology. And so I've done what people name molecular biology, trying to understand everything that's happening within a cell, how cells talk to each other. And from that perspective, one thing that is making me worried about the losmapimod is that nobody knows what it's doing actually within a cell. You could consider the cell as a black box, and you enter the drug on one end, and on the other end you see DUX4 goes down. But what happens within the black box, nobody knows. And I think this is a bit embarrassing because if you don't understand precisely what the drug is doing, it might cause problems in the long term that nobody knows about. And there are criticism of this point from another company, which is Physiotherapies. And so Fulcrum is putting the drug forward, and Physiotherapies is trying to identify other drugs that block DUX4 expression in a similar way, drugs that you can take by the mouth, and that should be easy to handle. And what these guys say is that in the long term, losmapimod is interfering with muscle regeneration. Now, will that be a problem? It's not clear, because other people are developing drugs that help muscle regeneration. So you could counteract a negative impact of losmapimod on regeneration with another drug. And you could imagine to give two drugs together, losmapimod to decrease DUX4 and X drug to improve muscle regeneration. Okay. So that's the point that's an issue for me, is not understanding exactly what it's doing in a cell. Now, from the perspective of decrease of fat accumulation in muscles, which seems to be observed, that's a very small effect, but it appears to be real. It's statistically significant over all the patients that have been tested. So that's very good news, because if you have less fat in your muscles, it will help the muscle to function better. And then also what they found, small improvement in muscle function, in muscle strength, and various exercises that are done by patients. Every one of them is at a very small level, but it's statistically significant. Over the whole group of patients, there's a difference for those who took the drug and those who got a placebo. And I think that's giving a lot of hope. It's minimal hope. I mean, you're not going to, if you were in a wheelchair, you're not going to get up and jump in the stairs, but at least it's stabilized, and people apparently feel better if they could be a little less tired, and if they feel better. So it's something that's well, that's very, very really bringing hope. And it's a little bit similar to the trial that has been done a few years ago in France with antioxidant complementation, where also there was a very small effect, but patients were feeling less tired. They felt they had a little more energy. The disease seemed to be stabilized. And so it's about in the same range. And so I find it funny that the people who are, the researchers who are analyzing the Fulcrum data, they say, well, that's great, we have something that's working. And they had been despising the data from the French clinical trial as not being very strong, not giving very much effect. But I think basically they're about in the same range. So there's hope. at least to stabilize, to stop disease progression. And this is something very important for both aspects, I mean, both the antioxidant and the fulcrum story.
Right. Okay. Thank you for explaining.
I hope it's clear. Well,
It is clear.